Apologies if some of this is a bit repetitive for yourself, Mike, but
I know it's always good to get a refresher, Alex.
Yeah,
so it's always good.
Great. Just gotta wait for this to kick in, go live. I think we're going live. Just refresh on the live stream. Nothing there yet. Yep, we're live. Fantastic. So thanks, Mike, for joining us in the live Zoom, more interactive masterclass. Great to have your input from the session today as well, and great to have you with us. So today's, I think we're on week 5 of our masterclass series. So we've kind of gone through the Leadeth framework, starting at kind of who your audience is, looking at your offer. And now we're looking at how to kind of create some really effective messaging that's going to resonate with that audience. So hopefully by the end of the session, you're just going to have a few extra strategies up your sleeve that you can approach with your messaging, whether that's LinkedIn messaging or email outreach, which I'm a big fan of now as well. Quick introduction. Who am I? So I'm Alex Smith, founder of Leadeth. Leadeth's been running for around about 4 to 5 years now. Primarily the way it all kind of started was I was in a business development role with a national organization, getting new members on board. And I realized that, wow, I'm going to have to do something. COVID hit. So I found an outreach software that allowed me to automate the outreach and acquire new members at scale. All the other membership advisors in the organization were struggling. They weren't doing anything. They weren't cold calling because we couldn't because of COVID. So I found that there's this fantastic tool, leveraged the tool, and it was getting me members. And then eventually I was managing it for 15 other members of the same organization. So I was managing their outreach for them. So that's kind of how it scaled, and that's where it grew from. So my background is in marketing, traditional print marketing. I used to have a print business for about 11 years, specializing in digital print, wide format printing. Sold that business on, and now my main focus is Leadeth, helping kind of B2B businesses with their kind of lead generation. So just as a quick overview, morning Ines, thank you for joining us in the live Zoom meeting as well. Just wanted to explain a little bit for those tuning into the live stream how Leadeth works and what it's all about. So here's just a reminder. The first stage is we look at the target audience. So we need to identify who that audience is. LinkedIn is a very powerful resource. It's a platform, that allows you to tap into over 750 million B2B prospect profiles. All of them are not going to be decision makers, but it's a huge amount of them are there. So if you're not using LinkedIn and leveraging LinkedIn, the chances are, if you're B2B, your audience is sat there. So that's why we love LinkedIn. Once we've created a bit of an audience, we know who that audience is, and we know a bit about our offering and how we can help that audience. It's important that we communicate using our LinkedIn profile. So when someone clicks on our LinkedIn profile, we know exactly, how, if somebody clicks on my profile, they know exactly how I can help them in terms of generate more revenue, generate more leads and bookings using LinkedIn. So that's got to be clear. So that really helps. It kind of separates the wheat from the chaff, and the people that are actually higher up that buyer's pyramid, who are aware that they have a problem and a need for your services. So we're targeting kind of those guys are right at the top end. LinkedIn outreach is one of the main strategies that we do that, and that's through creating effective LinkedIn automation campaigns that will go out and create those touch points with the prospects. And these days with AI, we're embedding more and more AI into the tools, which is fantastic. I'm really excited because Leadeth 3.0 is coming out around Christmas time, could be the new year, January. And that's going to have a fully automated AI employee that basically sounds like you, uses your phrases, it knows your knowledge, you train it up, and then it's going to be able to answer messages and drive people towards meetings. So that's quite exciting. We're in the beta phase at the moment, so we're testing that out with a few campaigns of our own. We've also got email outreach. That's the natural follow-up stage. Once a conversation and relationship's built on LinkedIn, we then look to reach out via email. So email is a powerful element here as well. And then you've got video content marketing, stage 5. So I use video content marketing mainly. Video gets a bigger reach, I find, effective videos. But you could just say polls or posts, whatever content you want to put out there. This supplements your outbound strategy because it's a nice little inbound strategy. So it's not to be neglected. If people see you on LinkedIn and you've just not posted for several months, does that show that you're really credible or trustworthy and knowledgeable in your field? Probably not. So having that content marketing piece is quite key to the whole framework. And then stage 6 is about automating our appointment setting process, having calendars in place and reminders, having a pipeline, all that sort of kind of salesy business development stuff, which is really crucial to have that. So that is the kind of leadeth journey that we take clients on. School. So you may have heard I talk a lot about a school community. So I've actually created a free school community which you can join. Within the community, we offer ongoing discussions, exclusive resources there, networking opportunities with like-minded business professionals. Free to join, as I say. You can access all the recordings from our previous masterclasses, which go live on LinkedIn and also live on YouTube. But you can see the repository of them all there, and you can download transcripts and all that sort of stuff. So joining is simple. Just head over to leadith.io/school, and that's SKOOL. You can click the join button, and then you become a member. We've got around about, I think it's 290 members in that community. Slowly growing it. We are quite choosy about who comes into the community. We don't want spammers or other lead gen agencies, ideally, but it's a great platform to be encouraged and find. If something's not quite working with your strategy, you can throw a question out there and hopefully someone's got an answer. So additionally, at the end of the session today, I'll also share a link to our one-to-one strategy calls. These are kind of like discovery consultations where I can basically on the call, we discuss your lead gen strategy, try and help you out, really understand what you're doing, where you want to be, why you're not there yet. Just an open conversation. Leave your credit card at home in your wallet. There's no pressure. It's purely just me giving out free support and advice. So I'd really welcome a discovery call with you if this is something of interest. So just a reminder, that's the link to the school community. It's leadith.io/school, and that will take you straight into the community. So feel free to hop along there now and join the community. We're going to talk about LinkedIn and the importance of that. We kind of stress on LinkedIn on every session. But this week, we're looking at marketing mastery. So we want to create campaigns that are really going to connect. So how do we do that? So we've broken the session down into 3 main chunks. And before we kind of dive into that, I just wanted to open up the room, just see who we've got here. We've got Ines and we've got Mike, wonderful clients of mine, thankfully joining me today. So I'm not on my own. It does get a bit lonely when I'm on my own on these sessions, but I'm always mindful it gets recorded and put into the community. So if you guys want to do a quick introduction in terms of what you guys are about, and that would be really helpful for everyone else out there tuning in.
I'll jump in, Alex, on that then.
Go for it, Mike. Thank you.
So my name's Mike Hall. My business is at JH Art Studio, and we create bespoke art for clients using their corporate branding. That might be their logo, whatever it might be, but it's about us bringing boring walls to life, but really focusing on the kind of corporate market. Because we find that your brand is more than just your logo, it's everything around you. So it's key for us that we help clients do that. And I've been working with Alex for probably about 12 months, I would say now, using some of the outreach techniques and leaders to automate some of my processes.
Yep. And in terms of campaigns that connect, what are you finding that's have maybe worked better than some of your other campaigns?
I think the biggest thing for me is actually the time-saving element of doing it. So it's about talking to people the way I would normally talk to them. So it's not forcing the thing. It's almost using the same language that I would use if I was personally writing out the post, but then just staging it in a way that it doesn't seem forced. And then using it, my first degree connection, I've done a few kind of cheeky little campaigns. And if your mum does, your mum says if you don't ask, you don't get kind of campaigns, which has actually resulted in some really positive inquiries. So it's because I'm on my own doing a lot of this stuff. It's how I can leverage my time better,
Mm-hmm.
and have this stuff working in the background. So that's where the value is for me.
Fantastic. Thanks, Mike. And if anybody's interested in, obviously you've got a bit of a sample there on the background, bit of a corporate
Yes.
artwork. I love your YouTube videos of you actually creating the bits of art, and it's kind of like a time lapse, and really, really fascinating to see what goes, the process that goes into that. If anyone wants to learn a little bit more about that, where's the best place for them to find you, Mike?
Go to the website, which is mjhrstudio.com, and you'll find links to the YouTube channel. And we will be doing more video content going forward, because that's part of my strategy. It's easy to kind of do things by pictures.
Yeah, for sure. I've got a nice empty wall waiting for you, Mike.
Yes.
So
I know. I shall be in touch. Don't worry.
Yeah, excellent. And Ines, quick introduction from you would be great.
Yeah, thank you. And I will definitely be checking out your pictures and videos. They are really fascinating. Your background wall is really, really beautiful.
Thank you.
So I'm a very fresh customer to Leadith. I'm using Leadith now for 2 weeks. I have launched my Project Excellence coaching 2 weeks ago, so it's all in the process of reconnecting with my network on LinkedIn. And what I find absolutely fascinating is, on the one hand, the sheer volume of connections and messages I can make with existing connections and new connections. And it's really amazing that I get response from people that I haven't talked for years. So it's a really, really great tool to connect again and build the outreach step by step. I'm in all the early stages, but Leadith really now gives me the confidence that I can really fill the spots in my coaching community. And that's something that's really exciting for me.
Thanks for sharing, Ines. It's really good. Yeah, very fresh to it. So you're still kind of picking up the nuances of Leadith and which campaigns might be working. So hopefully there'll be some good takeaways for you today in the session today. Great. Well, thank you guys for joining. I'm just going to go back to the screen share, if I may. So yeah, we're looking at campaigns that connect. So we're going to look at how to create campaigns that are really kind of resonate with your audience. So how do we engage that audience? We're looking at how to optimize emails, strategies for email marketing that converts. Obviously, there's loads of training resources kind of to do with email marketing within the school community, so you can tap into that as well. I've also got a Google Doc that I'll be sharing with you guys, which has got loads of templates of different things that you can try. And then we'll also look at how to build meaningful interactions on social platforms like LinkedIn, and how do we kind of nurture and continue that conversation. So to build a effective audience on LinkedIn, it's very much about engaging with them and connecting with the right sorts of people. First, we need to have a bit of a deep dive into understanding who our audience is. And this is always kind of right at the start. We look about lead generation. It's not just about casting that net really wide, but it's about casting the net in the right way and casting the right net so it draws the right people. So one of the great things that we ask clients is, who is your ideal customer? We think about what are their biggest challenges and how does maybe my solution specifically address the challenges that they've got. When we think about it in that way, it really helps us to speak really directly to their specific needs. Often clients would spin up campaigns with very little or no thought in terms of that message. So we need to be thinking, specifically, how is my message going to resonate with them, and how is it going to speak directly to them and help them out? Now, the big thing here is personalization, and Mike alluded to it earlier. Some of the best conversations and best results are kind of when you add that personal touch, when you make the effort to kind of do a bit of research on their profile, and that really helps you to kind of start to get the personalization. And that's always been the missing bit with Leadith, and certainly the AI side. It's great to have the initial leads and have the connection and people accept the connection, but it's the next stage. How do we nurture these leads and how do we drive them towards maybe a sales meeting or a calendar booking? So when a prospect really feels that that you understand their unique situation, they're going to be much more likely to engage with any other messages that you might send them. But it's a funny thing, you know, I have campaigns where I'm driving 7 messages to a specific prospect, all very targeted, all very you know, designed purposefully for them with personalization as well. And it's only until the 7th message do they actually respond and say, oh, actually, yeah, I'd love to get a meeting in the diary. Or they come back to you a month later after the campaign's ended, and it will be literally, yeah, sorry I didn't get back to you sooner, but I'd love to love to catch up with you. So we need to think about, you know, how we can segment audience as well. That's quite a key thing. When we tailor our content to a different audience segments, it helps us to really create a message that's going to hit the mark. And when we talk about segmenting, we're thinking about different industries. So if you've got different sectors that you work with, split down your campaigns into different industries. Certainly geography is a really good one as well, because a different audience, so a UK audience might respond very differently to maybe a US audience. And it's probably that their challenges are similar, but the way you approach that challenge is going to be very different. So the more you can kind of segment down and look at different geographies, look at different job titles, and look at those different, you know, the industry sectors, that's really going to help you. So we have a few tools that we can filter, and obviously LinkedIn's got some great filtering. If you're a Sales Navigator user, I think it's around about £66 a month if you want to subscribe to Sales Navigator, or £80 with that. That's got a few more extra filters, and some of those extra filters in Sales Navigator really help that piece of segmenting the audience, because you can actually go after people who are maybe just active. So if you're going after people who have been active on the LinkedIn platform in the last 2 weeks or so, the chances are you're going to get a bigger acceptance rate, a bigger connection rate with that audience than maybe sourcing the LinkedIn profile by just viewing on a keyword. So a few thoughts around kind of the audience there. Let's move on to the next slide. So how do we go about optimizing our emails? I've put InMails here. InMail is a strategy with LinkedIn. If you've got Sales Navigator, LinkedIn will let you send an email, and it's basically an email just through the LinkedIn platform, because you've got direct access to someone's inbox via LinkedIn. LinkedIn will only allow you to send 50 of these emails on a monthly basis, so they are very much limited. So you've got to think really wisely and carefully before you push these emails out. But certainly if it's a quality versus quantity game, then InMails is going to be a good approach. So email marketing is probably one of the most effective channels for lead generation, certainly from my own stats in terms of all the different sources of the things I've tried in terms of pay-per-click advertising, referral marketing schemes and things like that. I think certainly LinkedIn lead gen and email marketing are the two top components. And that's why I kind of focus on them with Leadeth. So the subject line, the first point of kind of a subject line is just to get somebody to open it. We don't want to do anything more than that. We just want to create a sense of curiosity and maybe offer some immediate value. And if people can see that, we're seeing some really good results. So most of the successful campaigns that I've run are the ones that maybe hinting of solving a specific problem. So understand your audience, think about what is the problem that they're facing, and going in with a subject line that you know, provides something that the prospect is just not going to be able to resist. You know, they've got to click that subject line, because if it goes straight into that problem or pain point, that is going to come to the answer. A little bit tricky with things like what you're doing, Mike, because it's kind of like a bit of a luxury, isn't it? It's not a problem that someone's got yet. I guess the problem is the blank wall facing you. You know, that blank wall could be so inspirational, and there could be conversations around that art piece, and you know all the benefits of your products, of course.
Yeah, that's it. It is. You hit the nail on the head. Actually, it's not really a desperate need, I guess, but if you find the right client with the right value alignment and they can see the value in doing it, then it is the right solution. And it's perhaps making people aware that you can have this service is the key thing. So yeah, you're right. It's not my house is on fire, I need something to put it out quick.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have got challenges around those kind of things.
Yeah. So I guess you kind of need to think more around the end product. Is there a vertical that you can go down that might complement that or link that to something else maybe?
Yeah, there's ways we can look at how we can enhance other people's offering.
Yeah.
You know, to bring value to them, but also there's the angle of sort of well-being as well.
Yeah. So I mean, some of the most effective subject lines that I've used are things like quick question to just a two-word subject line can create that intrigue. That's worked really well for me in the past. If you're just after getting a benchmark open rate for a new data list, then just fire an email to them, quick question, maybe a couple of question marks. That one works really well. So once we've got their attention, we need to then keep the body of the email really concise and valuable. People don't want to be reading lengthy emails. With LinkedIn messaging, the kind of gold standard is around about 50 words tops. And with email, I think almost probably the same applies. People think, oh, you can get away with more. But I think in a busy world that we live in, people just don't have time to be reading really long emails. So you do need to be real precise and with the body, keep it short and to the point, I would say. So less is probably more. And we don't want to overwhelm our audience with just too much information in one specific email. So we can actually start to send sequences, maybe 2 or 3 emails over the space of a week, where we can actually start to pique their interest. And that's just enough to then drive them to get that next email or get clicking a link or maybe booking a call down the line. So certainly I've kind of moved away from dropping web links in first emails now. Used to do it all the time. After connect with someone on LinkedIn, I'd say, yeah, no, here's my Calendly or whatever. Let's have a meeting. So I try to move away from that now. So I now have a warm email that just says, hey, thanks for connecting on LinkedIn. It's great. I can start learning a bit more about you, and hopefully you can see some of my articles and posts, blah, blah, blah. It's just a warm, soft email, not driving them to anything specific at this stage. And then down the line, because you've kind of created this fantastic initial relationship, we've connected, there's an initial flow. The next email you send to them, obviously you can be a bit more direct and drive them to some more value. So yeah, people just want value, and that's the key thing. So keep it concise. Think about the call to action. One thing that a lot of people don't realize is A/B testing emails and messaging campaigns. We're trying to build this into Leadif now. So by default, we'll create multiple variants of a specific campaign. So that really helps us to test and measure different elements. So it could be something like a subject line, or it could be just a connection message. We test 3 or 4 different connection messages. And when we start to do that, it helps us to understand, look at the data, see which one's actually resonating with the audience. These data-driven insights really help us to optimize the campaigns further. So once you've got a really clear winner, it might not be a clear winner, but one might be yielding a 1% improvement over the others. That's great, because we can then take that one which is performing better and even more optimize it and drill it out into maybe 3 or 4. So you're constantly building on the campaigns. So optimization is key with this. Let's look at how about leveraging social media. So social media, in terms of a content strategy and posting, it's very much about posting strategically. We need to post engaging and meaningful content. And when it comes to campaigns that connect, obviously consistency is the key here. But engagement is the secret sauce. And I've noticed this. I've looked at the stats. I've been monitoring my impressions. I've been monitoring engagement. And what we tend to see is more people, more what I call qualified leads. That's one of the metrics that I'm measuring. I'm measuring the number of real good qualified leads. So people that I'm having meetings with and appointments with. More of those tend to come about from good engagement and having a strategy with your engagement. So we need to show up regularly on our audience's feed, and obviously one way we can do that is through things like this. What I'm doing a LinkedIn Live. We're kind of at the forefront of everyone else's feeds. People can tune in, and it puts you there. People can see you. If you can create more of an interactive session, like maybe a LinkedIn audio, that gives other people an opportunity to meet you, other people to tune in. So we did a mix last quarter. We did 2 LinkedIn audios as well. Much better attendance on the LinkedIn audio events as well. But it's important to remember that people engage with people, not brands. So I would always say push the content out from your personal LinkedIn profile. Have the focus on your personal brand and on your personal profile rather than company pages and company brands. If you're a super big brand and you've made it, then great. The company pages will serve you well. But initially, people love that kind of smaller personal relationship. It's that human touch, really. So again, when you're posting on LinkedIn, Facebook, Insta, whatever platform you're posting on, think about the tone. The tone really needs to be conversationable and personable. You've got to kind of set yourself as a bit of a thought leader, sharing your knowledge, but also you need to be open to, and respond respectfully to other people if they're commenting, with completely differing views and opinions. One good thing you can do is ask questions. Questions really encourage dialogue, and they provide real good value. So I love polls. Polls are really effective on LinkedIn. Some of our highest engagement has been with poll posts. Really easy, great for testing your market and understanding what's working, what's not working. So yeah, with social media, the key thing is to measure. So funnily enough, today's the first of the month, so we actually run a KPI ROI session later, and that's where we go into the numbers, we go into the detail, and have a look at what's the content strategy looking like. Are we consistently putting content out there? Are we getting impressions? Are we getting engagement? Not always is there an alignment with those kind of branding and engagement metric kind of stats, but long term, I think it has a bigger game long term. If you can be consistent, for sure, then that will pay off dividends. I think some people still tune into some of your posts. You think, oh, a week's passed and that post had 10 or so likes and comments. You think it's dead after a week, but it's quite surprising when you go back to some of your historical posts. They still people can still find them, especially if you're using things like hashtags. People will pick up on a post from last year, which was trending really well, and if it's resonating with them, they will still comment and post. So it's important to keep your eye on your notification feeds for those engagements, so you can continue to engage and support others. So yeah, my preferred platform is LinkedIn. LinkedIn, it's kind of more than just a social network for professionals. It's a kind of vibrant community where business decisions are really influenced, and it's thanks to LinkedIn that I'm in the position I'm in now with a business, and the majority of my clients have come in as a result of LinkedIn. So it's a fantastic tool to be leveraged. Over 100 billion users, huge user base, over 200 countries. So it really helps you to connect with your ideal customer. And online networking, it's become increasingly important. We need to utilize LinkedIn to really connect with professionals in our industry. LinkedIn is a powerful tool. It really is for building, maintaining professional relationships. And one place you can do that is engaging with online communities, groups. LinkedIn groups is a good source for that. If you're worried about kind of the LinkedIn police, what we used to call them, like people get caught out by shutting down your LinkedIn profile, stuff like that. If you've got a LinkedIn group and you're actively in that group and you're the sole person creating that group, I think LinkedIn are going to be less the way the algorithm works. I think they're going to be much less likely to put a stop to your LinkedIn account if you're there and you're supporting LinkedIn and you're growing a group, because ultimately LinkedIn wants more people on their app, in there, on their website. That's the aim of it. It's how they generate revenue. So if you've got a LinkedIn group, keep it active. Be proactive. Create campaigns to draw people into your LinkedIn group. So yeah, that's a great strategy to have if you've not already thought about just a simple LinkedIn group, and it doesn't have to take too much of your time. One post a day, or just keeping on top of it and encouraging others within the group is all it needs to do. So there's a few things about kind of LinkedIn and what I'm seeing. Obviously, if you've got automation tools, you can actually target people in groups, which is another great benefit. So if you're a member of other LinkedIn groups, you can then reach out to all those other people in that LinkedIn group. So they're really good strategies of building your network. And then finally, we're just going to look at automating. Obviously, at Leadeth, what we do is, automation is the key. It's where we're leveraging software to win back our time. So Leadeth actually helps you to automate much of your LinkedIn activities, whether it's sending a personalized message to the right people without losing that human touch. And we can also help you with generating more leads. So it could just be you're struggling for pipeline. So Leadeth is actually a great way of generating some initial leads in your pipeline. So yeah, I'll just mention the discovery call. So discovery call, if you what we've spoken about today has resonated with you, then feel free to head over to leadeth.io/discovery. It's a big orange button on the Leadeth website. Click that, and that's where you can schedule a discovery call. It'd be good to hear as we kind of just wrap up some of the key takeaways that you can maybe start applying today. Maybe you've just noted one or two things down. It'd be great just to understand what's stood out from you guys. So Mike, can we come to you first?
Yeah, I think I just need to revisit keep on doing this, I keep on tweaking it and revisiting, but every time I think about it, I think I could be doing a little bit more. I'm probably not utilising emails as much as I should do. And again, I just need to revisit my current suite of those sets of different outreach campaigns that I've got that I've run through with yourself. And then just revisit, I think, some of the messaging right, and then also, just tighten a few things up and change a few bits and pieces and do one or two more. I feel it gets a little bit stale.
Yeah.
So I think I just need to freshen it up a little bit. Having said that, though, some of the stuff you said about, I was at a recent networking event and I didn't think I was posting that regularly. And goes, oh, Mike, you look really busy. Like,
Yeah.
Must be doing something right.
But yeah, often.
Number of impressions is changing. It doesn't. I think. I don't know. I don't seem to be getting as many comments, but I think that's because there's so much going on there.
Yeah.
Not everyone does, but people are seeing things in their feed, and certainly different posts, certain types of posts have far wider reach than others. Post something on about art and it's not great. I post something about I've just done a personal best on my running. Wow, that goes through the roof. So there's lots of different things. I think it's a blend of everything. Yeah.
I find the personal aspects tend to just do really well. My weekend posts, when I put something like that, then that tends to do really well.
Yeah, I think for me, it's just going back. I've written some notes down here about just revisiting. I think some of the posts that I've got. Sorry, some of the messages that I've got going out now. And you probably just need freshening and tweaking a little bit. And then I think also the target audience, I need to play around with that a bit more. I'm not currently on Sales Navigator. I'm trying to do everything through LinkedIn Direct, which is okay. I just don't want to do it and the additional investments to get the bit of sales not working. Yeah. I mean, the beauty is if you get one of their free trials or you get 2 months for the half price, definitely worth taking those up. I've done that in the past because you can actually bring in some fresh new data and it can just sit there in Leadeth for 6 months and you slowly work that data. So you don't have to subscribe to it every single month, but certainly it just helps you to, turn along, isn't it? Yeah. Brilliant. Searchability is better for sure. Yeah. Inez, any key takeaways for you?
Yeah, definitely, because I have not sent any emails yet. So I was wondering how and when to start or integrate emails. So I will definitely try this. And what I've also planned for this week is starting with small videos as my LinkedIn posts. I've done LinkedIn Lives on a regular basis, ordinary posts, but I haven't done small videos, and I would like to try this format and see how the engagement is with this new format. there's a lot of trial, but it's exciting, yeah. And the A/B testing is, let's say, down the line, maybe in a month's time, when I have some data, and then share it and discuss it with you. So I'm really looking forward.
Yeah, so with the video, someone sent me a link the other day to a new tool, AI tool that chops up long form content to produce really nice, like 30-second video clips. And I've forgot the name of it, so I'm just going to try and find it, if I may. What was it called? Can I find it? I'm just trying to search through my conversation thread here to see if I can find it. I'll paste it in the school community, because I've actually I demoed a couple of tools, and it seemed to work really well so far. Yeah, it's quite easy to use. You just drop it in, and it kind of found the most pertinent bit of a recording, and then pulled the best bits out, which is really cool. Yeah. So yeah, that concludes today's masterclass. Obviously, we've got the 3 p.m. KPI and ROI session. So if you're free to attend that, it'd be good to see you there. But yeah, next week, let's have a look what we're moving on to next week. I should know. Yeah, so next week we're moving on to week 6. So it's the science of sales. So a bit of a sales focus, selling without selling out. And we're going to explore the ethical sales techniques that are really going to help you to build more trust, turning prospects into partners. So yeah, a bit of a salesy focus next week. So yeah, thanks for joining. And yeah, have a great rest of your week.
Thank you
so much.
Cheers. Bye.
Recording stopped.